final score then was Kenya 24, France 19. They're into the semi-finals.
Congratulations to Kenya through to their second successful semi-final in the Rugby World Cup. They got to the semi-final in 2009, they're back then 2013. Now then the bowl semi-final featuring Russia against Uruguay. They have only ever met once, and that was in the Rugby World Cup Sevens of 05 in Hong Kong, when Russia came out on top 34-17. And Russia's Alexander Yanushkin, would you believe it, actually featured prominently in that match. So here come the teams then. Alexander Aleksinko, the coach, sends on his reserves for this clash with his two major try-getters, Vladimir Ostrushko and Vasily Artemiev, starting off the bench. The Russians in their familiar red shirts and black shorts. Uruguay, well, the last to qualify for the Rugby World Cup Sevens here in Moscow, through from their qualification round in Rio de Janeiro back in February. Dmitry Perov leads Russia, and no question Ben Gollings who the crowd will be backing for this one.
Yeah, we heard how loud they got last night when the Russian women's team won, and Russia winning again this morning, building it here nicely in Moscow, and they'll be looking for another win. So crucial for them.
Certainly is, and the Los Terros of Uruguay will need to maintain their focus for this one, because with a trophy in sight, then they're a durable outfit, as they proved in Las Vegas at the HSBC Sevens World Series tournament back in February, when they defeated much fancied Portugal. But they're up against it, they're up against the crowd as well. How will they cope, I wonder, in this bowl semi-final? Dmitry Perov gets the game underway, straight downfield, first possession to Uruguay. They won their only game here in Moscow earlier on today by defeating Tunisia by 12 points to 7 in the bowl quarter-final. And this is the man that got one of their tries, Agustin Ormochia, brother of captain Juan Diego. He wears one, and he is also in the starting lineup.
Well, Uruguay looking comfortable on the ball there, but similar to early, they kept making these few little mistakes there. Player coming in when he should have just stayed out, held on to the ball.
Well, Alexander and Aleksinko still thinks that he needs some divine intervention if his squad are going to win this match. The new coach this season, Alexander Aleksinko, and he's assumed the mantle of Thierry Janaszek in the personality stakes. He is as animated as the former French coach was over the years. And we all need a little bit of colour, extra colour to what is already a marvellous occasion. Marvellous sport, growing in popularity, growing in numbers as well, the number of participants, that is, and it's an Olympic sport as well, and Russia will be there. You can bet your bottom ruble on that. As here they come then, Perov sweeping the ball out, but there's no room on the narrow side, so they'll have a go again. Not the best of passes, and wisely Igor Krychnikov allows the ball to bounce. The power of Denis Simplikovic gets Russia onto the score sheet, stretching the Uruguayan defense one way then the other, and Simplikovic from NEC-STM club gets the first try.
Yeah, quality from Russia. Little stutter with the pass early on, but the great thing to see was Simplikovic straighten the line and come onto it pace. That's what it needed after the bouncing ball. Strong start.
Strong start indeed by Russia. Denis Simplikovic and Stanislav Bondarev, two members in the squad from the NEC-STM club in Krasnoyarsk, where they know a thing or two about their sevens rugby. One or two clubs there, they only play sevens. As we saw earlier on, there was a youth competition here, and yes, it was NEC, that man's club, that won that tournament as well. The conversion is good, and Russia lead Uruguay by 7-0. Perov gets to restart. Lovely lofted kick taken in the air there by the Uruguayan Alfonso Falcon.
pressure being applied by Russia at the ruck, causing the knock-on from Uruguay.
Russia drew with Japan yesterday, 12-all, and this morning they defeated Spain by 17 points to 7. That was a good result for them. They also reached the final of the FIRA European tournament in Lyon last month when they were defeated by England. They defeated Wales, incidentally, in the semi-final, and that was certainly a measure of their progress. A settled side, this Russian side. Ilya Babayev looked a little unsettled there.
It's a shame in such strong attacking positions. They just hold on to that ball, they can build pressure.
Using their power to good effect in the scrum, but wheeling the scrum deliberately. So it'll be a relieving kick from Ormochea, Augustine that is. He struck it well at all. Just about. The Russians keep the ball in play. But it's all a little untidy at the moment. Russia have it through their captain Perov under pressure from Augustine Ormochea. Smack in the face for Alfonso Falcon. Nothing deliberate, nothing malicious in it. And Uruguay now down to 6 men to all intents and purposes as they look to probe the weakness. But Falcon is back on his feet as Russia dig it out and spread it wide to the try scorer Simplikovic. Again, good hands from Simplikovic. Offloads to Dmitry Perov. Lovely offload this time to Viktor Grasev. One of the more experienced players in this Russian squad. That's a brilliant try. Uruguay pressing down the far end, and then Russia keeping their composure and creating a try for Viktor Grasev.
It was just simple offloads, although we looked a bit forward there, but you couldn't get away with those. Good pace coming onto the ball. Russia, when they don't make mistakes, it might sound quite funny, when they don't make mistakes, they look quality, and they can keep the ball hands rather than floor and cut those mistakes out. They're a strong, formidable side.
Conversion falls wide, but Russia, again, you have another team here, Ben, that needs greater exposure to international competition. We see them now and again on the international stage, and as you say, it's only by playing against good quality opposition that teams like Russia will improve.
No better place than in the World Cup.
Certainly isn't. So Perov, for the third time of asking, out wide it goes this time. Who got the last hand to that? The Russians claim it may have come off an Uruguayan hand, but no, says the referee's assistant on the far side. Down to the last minute of this first half, and boy, has this first half flown. 12-0, that's the host nation's advantage as the clock ticks down, but still time for Uruguay to claw one back before referee Anselmi brings the first half to a close. Good work by the number 7, Federico Favero, from the Old Christians Club, a famous club in Montevideo. No definite advantage accruing to Uruguay, so referee Anselmi calls them back.
Still just those errors creeping into their game, stopping their momentum, Uruguay.
No definite advantage for Russia, rather. So there goes the hooter. Final play of the first half, then 2 tries to the good. Russia already. They'll be looking for a third here before the break, and they might get it through. Dmitry Perov, the captain, looking to hand off his man. That's an excellent try again. Ilya Babayev holds on, clings on to the ball on this occasion, and that's a third try for Russia, and a crucial try before the break.
They seem to have the bit between the teeth at the moment. What they're doing here is they're running strong, hard lines, and what's good to see is they're able to get their hands free, and it's key that they have that support man on their shoulder every time, and it's that support man that's giving them the tries.
That's a simple conversion, and as we arrive at the break, Russia have a firm hand and a firm control over this game. The bowl semi-final, they lead Uruguay by an impressive 19 points to 0.
Поговорите. Ребята, вправо всегда успеете. Давайте поговорите. Они не умеют, что, они будут постоянно ошибаться. Они не умеют играть под прессом. Договорились? Давай, поближе. Еще сильно не сыграли. Начальный удар. Вот подбровка здорово. И смотри, пожалуйста, Саватевич. Здорово, так же продолжай. Парни, мы ловим начальник. Vamos a disfrutarlo, vamos a ponernos a hacer cosas. Y vamos a ir con la cabeza bien en alto, haciendo nuestro juego. Dale, vamos arriba. Vamos mal izquierdos en el juego de tres. Hay que llegar antes.
Here we have the assistance of valuable assistance of interpreters here. No need any interpretation on what's happening on your screens at the moment. Alfonso Falcon took a smack to the face earlier on. But what our interpreter tells us that Mr. Alexander Alexinko was telling his men that Uruguay can't take the pressure, so apply the pressure, greater pressure, and the win will surely come.
To be able to do that, they've got to claim this kick-off back. They've had the opportunity where they've been kicking off and being able to retain. It's key now they take this kick-off.
Yeah, a little bit of ice on the field there. For how long, I'm not so sure, because the temperatures are soaring, are climbing here at the Luzhniki Stadium, this magnificent Olympic stadium in Moscow. That's the backdrop for this year's Rugby World Cup Sevens in 2013, as we look ahead to the main event, the Cup semi-finals and the final. And stay with us if you can, because there are some fireworks ahead, that's for sure, before the night is out. And still here, Russia lighting the blue touch paper, looking for the first try of the second half. That's the big number 12, Victor Gressa, for number 8. Back row forward in 15s has seen time with the Wasps in London. This is Klyuchnikov from the VVA Podmoskvia club in Moscow. Good work. Oh, what an audacious try this is from Klyuchnikov. A fourth try for Russia, the first of the second half, and they started the second period as they finished the first with a try.
Well, they're just holding on to the ball well here, and they've gone from one side to the other. There was acres of space out there, and he had a man outside him if he needed it, but he didn't in this occasion. He just puts in the big fend, says thank you very much, get off.
There's the angle, there's the distance, and there's the Twitter address. In the background, hashtag RWC7s. Yep, get involved. There's plenty to look ahead to, and there's plenty to talk about, if not just that try from Igor Klyuchnikov. 30 years of age now, perhaps showing his age a little, but this is the little man, Alexander Yanushkin. He's Russia's top point scorer in sevens, well over 250. A well-placed kick, forcing Uruguay to counter from their own 22. Uruguay certainly have no answer to the determination, the power and the pace of this Russian outfit, supported and helped in no little way by the support they're getting from the stands as well. Falcon having to breathe through the mouth now, I should think rather.
You can just see at the moment with difference between the two teams is when Russia have got the ball, they're dynamic and they go forward and they're running straight. Here at the moment, Uruguay just going side to side, and it makes it much easier to defend.
26-0, that's a mountain to climb, but we've seen teams that I have to say better qualified teams than Uruguay recover this situation in the 4 minutes that are available. Alexander Yanushkin, another from the Podmoskvia club and captain of the Russian Bears, as the national 15s team is known. From Penza in central Russia, Alexander Yanushkin has made his home here in the capital. The cracking little scrum half is Alexander Yanushkin. Made his debut, do you believe, on the 7th circuit 11 years ago in Hong Kong, and that would have been back in 2002.
There's just a lot of hesitancy happening here in the attack of the Uruguay side at the moment.
All right. Okay. Okay.
The passes completed statistic there, reflecting the fortunes of both teams in this game. The Russians have made their passes stick, and they've secured 4 tries, and I don't think they're done yet as Vladimir Ostroushko extends those legs, those powerful legs of his, and gets away from the Uruguayan defence in at the corner, and Russia are running away with this one.
Well, there you see it, change of direction and then hitting the ball at pace, and we know that Vladimir Ostroushko has got plenty of it and plenty of power.
How do you call in French?
Simple run-in for him.
Certainly is a young man who wouldn't look out of place in an English Premiership side, or a Rabo Direct side for that matter, or a French top 14 side either. Yanushkin, he's not a bad kicker of the ball, but that was a difficult kick. Wide out on the right, it'll have no influence, I don't think, on the final outcome of this match. Russia well in control at 31-0. Yanushkin again keeps the Uruguayans guessing. Back there to retrieve is Francisco Vecino. Uruguay getting no change whatsoever. Good work again there in the tackle area by Vladimir Ostroushko. The exaggerated movement of the arms indicating to the referee that, yeah, I'm playing within the rules. I'm letting the guy play the ball first before I go in and look for it and snap it up perhaps. It's advantage Uruguay rather. Russia knocked it forward first of all. Gaston Mieres.
Just unfortunately for Uruguay at the moment, they're also just seeing a sea of red wherever they go. Every time there's a tackle made, there's 4 Russians straight in, causing all sorts of problem in the ruck area.
Well, this is what Alexander Alexinko was saying at half-time, wasn't it, from what we gather? Keep the pressure on, because Uruguay can't cope, can't live with you. And that's exactly what has happened in Uruguay again. Under pressure in their own 22, and that's where they have been for the greater part of this game. Alexinko, very happy man, I should think, as his team look to be progressing to the bowl final, and a trophy in sight for the host nation. Good game, I think, is what he was saying there. Uruguay looking for a consolation score, because that's all it will be. And the work there by Francisco, by Ian Smith rather, but Russia come again, and rounding it off in style is Vladimir Ostroushko. Signed, sealed and delivered for Russia. They're through to the bowl final. A second try for Vladimir Ostroushko, the man from the NSA STM club.
Right, just finding himself in the right position at the right time here. Loose ball again from Uruguay. Russia are always going to capitalise on it.
6 tries to 0. You can't argue with that, really. And the conversion to come, and that'll be merely a formality, surely, for Alexander Yanushkin. And you'll hear the applause ringing around the grandstands here at the Olympic Stadium. And the cheer for little Alexander Yanushkin, who adds the icing on the cake. Russia march on, with the help of Misha perhaps, to the bowl final. Handshakes all round. No, they didn't need the extra man on this occasion. Congratulations to Russia then. They are our first bowl finalists, with a comprehensive defeat of Uruguay, and by 38 points to 0.